Hello and welcome. My name's Derek. I sell physical media on eBay. Make videos about what I buy, source videos, videos about what sells, what sold videos. This is a what sold video. That's good enough. That really wasn't exciting the way I said that. That's good enough. I'll stop it. All right. So it was a can't say doubled. I can say almost doubled from what yesterday was. Some hella zingers in here. I guess it's just kind of go out there and look around. If stuff doesn't have barcodes, look it up. Let's find out why I said that. All right. If you've been here, you know why I say that. But yeah, a lot of media sellers probably say that as well. That non-barcode stuff is good. All right, so we are going to start off with non-barcode. Edie Gormy and Steve Lawrence. This two album CD 22. All right, this. Standard La Répertoire de la Cuisine by Louis Saulnier. 1976. The 13th edition. Standard. 13th edition. I don't remember where I got this. I want to say it was down at in Fairlawn Copley at the Salvation Army. If anything, I paid $3 for it. Most likely paid $1, probably even less. I really don't remember. You'd have to refer to a sourcing video when I got this. And in order to do that, you'd have to look at the picture, see the date stamp, and find sourcing videos just prior to that. Most books, they will accrue for a week, maybe 2 weeks. So to find out exactly where I got it, how much I paid, you'd have to go to that sourcing video. But this is a nice zinger that's going across the pond. 152. Definitely take this one. Well, I'll take that sale. It's going to get packaged up and sent on out. Go find the use for it. So my wife did look it up. So it is like a textbook. It's like a glossary or dictionary, but with more to it, like explanation dictionary and stuff. The world's most renowned classic used by the experts, basic reference to the cuisine of Escoffier. 6,000 dishes for hors d'oeuvres, soups, eggs and fish, entrees, salads, pastas, vegetables, pastries. $150. On to the next. This Antiphone Blues, Arnie Domneris, Gustav. So this is a rendition of some sort of older classical music that was done in 1974. I'm looking on the info on the back. So classical, it's about the same ratio of most media. It's going to be probably 1% of the stuff is good. This one is good for 32. All right, we'll get this out of the way. This Warhammer Dwarves book 22. Or I'm sorry, 33. So this is one of the 90s ones. When was this one? 93. Yeah, so I have like maybe 5 more of these different types of books, ranging anywhere from $40 upwards of over 100. I sold a couple of them. I still have some of the Dungeons and Dragons books too. At least one that I can see in the Fallout Survival Guide, Fallout 4 Survival Guide. That's down there still as well. All right. Don't sell flatware that often anymore, but this stuff right here, it's a pretty neat pattern for anyone who does sell flatware. So this is Towel, Towle, made by Supreme Cutlery. And Towel is one of those that it can be really, really, really good. Most of them, especially the Supremes. Towel also has a sub-branch called Lyon, Lyon. A lot of those are 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks per piece. For this is called Towel Supreme Drama. And for the actual place spoons or soup spoons, these are the cheapest of what they are. Most of everything else is going to be like 20, 30, 40 bucks per piece. And for everything else, I have them in sets of 2 for whatever it may be. 60 bucks, 80 bucks, whatever, whichever. But combined for all these, I got 62. So it's the cheaper of the pieces, but it's those gone. And after the turn of the year, we're going to keep, I've only got 2 more of these large ones. So I don't know if we're going to swap those out. But is what I'll end up doing at the turn of the year is taking all the different patterns that I do have and put all the exact patterns together, get a picture, and just put it up as an auction for 10 days. If they sell at 99 cents plus £2 shipping or whatever it may be, after you get 40 pieces, that poundage adds up fast. If they sell, they sell. If not, then they will get put in a box of about 500, and I'll just put that up for 100 bucks, and there'll be $1,000 of flatware in there. There is a flatware seller of one of my viewers. So if you're interested in any of that, I will give that information more so later on. I also have an 800-page book by replacements.com that was made in like the late 90s. That gives, you could just look up the brand and you can look up the pattern, and then you can start identifying by the designs and everything that's on that, so you can identify what pattern it is. Anything from the late 90s onward, they have all that. That's all online. But to go through and scroll and try to narrow down exactly what your pattern is, if something is just not correct, you got to go to the next page. You go to the next web page. Having the physical, tangible book in front of you makes it a lot easier. All right. This Justin Hayward Night Flight. This picture does not have a date stamp. So if that is correct, then that means that this specific CD I've had for well over 3 years, almost 4 years, because I got my phone, which is a 2022 model, in spring of 2022. So if it doesn't have a date stamp, it's before that. And I re-listed this a couple days ago, and I got 21 for it. So something that's been assuming around for 4 years, and I just did a relist. I looked again. It had that one had 2 views, and click on it, and it had like 8 views over the either 10, 11 months, whichever. So I did what I do, took it down, repriced it by a little bit. All right, this Radio Days DVD about Cleveland radio stations and such with Ian Hunter. So Ian Hunter, he just died too. Did he just die? Well, I know Ace Frehley did. But I do have some Ian Hunter cassettes. I think Ian Hunter did just die. But either way, 26. This Cleveland Zoo paperback guide from 1962. Strangely enough, I had a lot of people ask, are there pictures of gorillas? And there is one in here that I did see. I wasn't going to go through every single picture. giraffes, hippos, zebra, sea lion, hyena. Oh, the Happy Cappy. A raccoon. A lowland gorilla. Kangaroos. Komodo. So, got this at that estate sale. I want to say I did. If I did, then it would have been 25 cents, and I got 30 bucks. 30. And it's going 03, so it's going to east of here. Definitely not staying in Ohio, that's for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have the 6 of the last of the summer wine. All the other ones that were like 20 bucks, give or take, or more, they were all listed individually. These are the leftovers. These I got in Avon, where there were 6 DVDs or whatever it was for $5, or maybe it was 5 DVDs for $5. So I just grabbed all of them, knowing that a lot of them do sell. These are all just lower value ones, but combined, I got 57 for all 6 of these sets. So since I had already got them, and I figure I could probably put them all together, and who's ever going to get them is going to get quite a bunch of these. And there's that. This jacked up VHS. So I've had a couple of these throughout the... Is that Nick Cannon? Tilo. Someone else's name is Tweet. Anna Maria. So I've had a couple of these. They've sold throughout the time. This one definitely had for a while. Not one I would buy again to buy and sell, but 13. This was a surprising one right here. This Reina del Cid. All right. So I think it's this one here. This one here. One of the two does sell on the regular for like 20, 25 bucks. But this one is signed ×4 on the back. And it also has a little note. So these two combined for, I mean, it was in one listing, 75. And I see that 75 and double that 75. We have this library bind. It's library bind. A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. I think that's how you say her name. Le Guin. So it is not a standard hardcover. It is this library bind here. It is a very, very firm, unread, almost seems, I mean, it has been read, but not completely open. And if they read it, they were just reading it like this. So it's pretty much unread. 1968 library bind of this book. 150. Heck yeah. So a little hodgepodge of a couple mid-tier lower, and then some other ones to get that dopamine going. Except for all these came in at night, so try to fall asleep when you've got $703 of sales and $674 in product costs received. So I get the book sale at, would have been midnight, so it would have been 12:11 in the morning, right when I'm dozing off. And I hear that go off. I'm like, oh, heck yeah. Yeah. back to that Zoltan guy. Yeah. So it is raining. It's going to be raining until about 1, maybe 2. It is kind of dark and dreary outside. So it's melting away the snow that was here, except for the stuff that's on the roof. But when it does subside, it's not like a downpour, but when it does subside, I'm going to go head up to a couple local stores and come back and go from there. Today is Wednesday. It's 9:05. So, I mean, I got a little time for that. But next week, I want to, weather permitting, decent enough weather permitting, I want to get to some of these farther routes. That way I've got a good chunk of stuff I'm getting that week so I can go into that Christmas week with some, probably not going to sell a whole lot that specific week of Christmas just because of shipping time frame and stuff. May still. Next week's probably going to be the popping days for holiday sales. However, I want to be able to have this stuff that way when I start the end of year sale, which starts on the 26th and it's going to end on like January 4th or 5th, whatever that Monday or Tuesday is at the turn of the year. Going to run that, but I want stuff to have listing as well. So you can have stuff that's ultimately going to be like 10% off of what it's currently listed for. But I want to have stuff that I can add new listings to while that's on sale. So a lot of sales are going to be coming from that sale, kind of like what I did a couple weeks ago. And then just run a random sale and be surprised what happens. But just don't do it for a day. Do it like 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so there's going to be stuff that sells during that sale, but I also want to add to that, but I don't want to add a whole lot because I'm going to end up, after that sale, I'm going to do a big calling of older inventory and stuff. I'm not going to explain that now, but it makes it easier to where if I have that stuff that's already listed, it could just go in a separate box that's not labeled or anything, and just go in a separate box and just be kind of stashed up for a minute. Kind of like, well, you can't see them. These are things. I didn't want to do this right now, but this is what I got at Savers for $10, $11, almost 13. So this Blue October, if you've never heard Justin and Blue October, it's definitely an interesting one. I don't know if this is the exact album, but let's just say that he started making money as a rock star, and that money went to extracurricular activities that started to ruin his life, and then he made more music about him reinventing himself to be better. And there's one, I don't think it's on this one. My wife would definitely know. The Feel Again. Yeah, the Feel Again song. I don't know if that's the one that's the video where he's sitting up on his couch or his bed or something in his bedroom, and he's holding onto like an old Panasonic answer machine, and he's listening to something play back from, I'm going to guess, was probably his girlfriend or wife, and or maybe that was Hate Me. But he has some pretty powerful songs. Richard Pryor, Stain self-titled, Weekend, Starboy. I'm not going to go with any values or anything. Got on a Dock, Mask of Privilege, and Understanding Stuttering. So that's 7 for almost $13. So all those are going to have to be, pretty much $20 or more, give or take. And Savers up here, unless it was by a fluke, most of all their CDs were $3. So that means I'm going to be more selective, at least at the savers. And that's how I am usually when it comes down to different items I see on what it's going to cost. Like, all right, if it's $3, they're going to have to get over 20. If it's $1, even less than 15 is fine. If it's $1 less, right? So, all right, that's going to wrap that one up. Like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned. And we'll go with, at least with this here, right? No barcode. Library bind. X-library. Library bind is just a whole different type of hardcover material and stuff. And it doesn't, this entire wording right here is way different than the standard. We can go into that pastry cookbook or the whatever that repertoire book is. That's also $150. Foreign language. So if you look at the side of it, this, most people are like, oh, that's French, or whichever you would think that language it is. Oh, that's French. I don't want anything to do with it. Nope, not me. Repertoire, and I saw cuisine, cookbook. Maybe. But I definitely looked it up. So, there's that. I don't know what makes Ursula's stuff so valuable. There's just one hair. Just some take it when I'm talk and then breathe back in, it comes right back to my face. It's like, I don't like what you're saying. All right. Yeah, so non-barcode stuff. Once again, step outside of your comfort zone of what you know. Because if you're going to do that, and you're going to do that with physical media, chances are, if what you're buying and it becomes a dud of an item, what'd you spend? $1? 50 cents? Maybe $2? Maybe you got some books from the trash. In that case, it really doesn't matter. You just bring it home and look it up, and if it's worth something, list it. It is a minimal risk, most of the time high reward category. That's why I shifted to it almost 5 years ago. Well, it'll be 5 years in like March, April or so of next year. All right, so tell me anything you're going up. Comment down below, subscribe, share, those are all free. They help me, help you. So we're helping everybody here. Appreciate it. Thank you.